Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's time for another live watch party. Thank you for coming on in. We are live, still winding down from Stranger Things, that the conformity gate that didn't happen, which was kind of funny a few days ago. Whatever day was it? The ninth, the 7th, I don't even remember. Um, that was fun in that people were really hyped up on it. Like it was like a thing. Um like I saw some just a couple of videos, like people were like, I didn't really think it was much. Then I started hearing the evidence and it's kind of weird. And then it would list all these things, and some of it is like genuine, like things that seem wrong or like a bit of a mistake. Um, but like they used it, anything they saw like that, as evidence that there was a secret ninth episode, which doesn't make sense, right? Um, like like even if you find these things that like don't make sense, why does that mean there's a secret episode? It didn't actually confirm to that, but that's what bad theorists and stuff do, is they find these things and they all tie it into whatever theory they have, but it doesn't actually make sense. It doesn't actually support their theory. Like, I get, like, there's a lot of like weird things in the epilogue or something, that doesn't make sense. I maybe I agree a little bit, but like that doesn't mean like there's a ninth episode, right? Like, you see like how it goes from one to the other. Stranger Things had a better final season. Cobra Kai had a better ending. I don't even know if Stranger Things had a better final season. Um, I mean, the Cobra Kai final season was long. Starting, you know, peacetime in the valley, where nothing was happening, getting ready for the Sekai Taikai, to where you got. It was a longer journey, but are you gonna watch the Stranger Things doc? Yeah, when does that come out? It didn't come out already, did it? It comes out soon. Yeah, maybe I will. I gotta make some videos. Um, just been kind of distracted um in some ways, which is unfortunate, but yeah, I want to get back into it. Cobra Kai was better, hands down. IMO. I might have 40 years bias though. Um, I definitely think, yeah, by most accounts, Cobra Kai was much better. Um, like going back to what you said here, chosen Vadero. Yeah, you're talking about Cobra Kai here. Like season 6 of Cobra Kai started slow, and I said that when it first dropped, when those first 5 episodes were out. When those first episodes were out, I was talking that, yeah, this is kind of a slow start. I have some videos on it. You can go back and watch them. It's like low stakes. It was kind of like they had to get back into it. While Stranger Things, final season definitely started right on top of stuff. Stuff was moving pretty fast, right? Um, so that's one difference. Um, and in fact, I in some level, I think the best part of the final season was part one. Those first 4 episodes were actually pretty good. Like, no one was really complaining after those first four. I mean, if you can remember all of 2 months ago or a month and a half ago, not even that long, like no one was really complaining. Like, people were kind of pumped and looking forward to Sorry. Okay. Those after part one, like, yeah, no one was complaining. People were looking forward to seeing where it was going. Um, it was good there. Part one of Cobra Kai season 6, yeah, people were complaining. I got a video on that. But the problem with Stranger Things, man, it started spinning out once it got to part two. Too much Holly, you know, going in these other directions. This long wheel coming out that still doesn't make any sense, and I will say I do think the finale did some things right, hitting the emotions and stuff. Um, it just I think some people are just a little unsatisfied. What can you say? Um, and it's not a universally happy ending either. There's emotions, but it's not happy. And I think people are reacting to that. Oh, Sonic's waving. Cobra Kai rules them all. Yeah. Comes out tomorrow. Okay, we'll get to it. Cobra Kai had more deaths off screen. Stranger Things 5 did on screen. Well, yeah. I mean, what are you going to say? Karate's the violent sport. Cobra Kai versus Stranger Things final season. Both were equally flawed. I disagree that they were equally flawed. Very different reasons. That is for certainly true. They both stuck the landing. Very fair enough. I think Cobra Kai hit it a little bit better, but I think the Stranger Things landing has its merits. And overrated crap. 11's powers are hand movements and nosebleeds. Yeah. Always has been. Always has been. Bunch of issues with season 6. Yeah, like I said, I have videos on it. You're not the only one. People complained. Especially early. It started slow. You enjoyed volume 1 of Stranger Things. Yeah. I think everyone was absolutely on board in volume 1. It was looking good. Absolutely on board. Stranger Things killing you with the cliffhangers between parts. A little bit, but I didn't think it was like horrible or killing. I didn't feel like it was killing. Melissa's here. Thanks for coming in, Melissa. Season 6, part 2 is not that good either. It had some good moments. It had some frustrating things. Like the inner squabbling with Dimitri was probably the most frustrating just for me. Yeah. But I thought it was pretty well otherwise. Season 5 Stranger Things didn't feel big enough, whereas season 6 of Cobra Kai just felt like it jumped the shark. I think Cobra Kai went on a season too long. Well, I mean, I always said, and it was true, on some level, you could have ended the show there after season 5. You really could have. It had the ending. Johnny gets engaged, wins the fight. Terry Silver's defeated. Daniel fought Terry Silver and finally beat him. You return to the crane kick. They took it all down. It's like, yeah, you could have ended Cobra Kai there. You really could have. Right there. Obviously they wanted to do one more. Obviously they always planned. It was like one more world stage. And it was getting to the end to where, Johnny fights in the biggest match of his life for the world tournament, Sakai Takai, and he wins, so we got there. We ultimately got to Johnny's redemption. So you could have ended in season 5, but it set the stage up for the next step, which gets us to Johnny's redemption. Cobra Kai never dies. No, it does not. And I know someone always asks, no yet word of any spin-off or whatever. Hopefully within a month, like I would like. But I don't know. More people shine about a teenage crime than a show about interdimensional monsters. Yeah, funny thing, but yeah, I mean, Quan died, Kreese and Silver both died. I mean, there was explosions, Only Vecna died, really. The Mind Flayer. Karate is not a sport. Cobra Kai nailed the landing, but the takeoff was very bumpy. That's a fair way to put it. I would, yeah. Or just slow is how I would put it, but yeah. Only thing Stranger Things 5 did was part 1 being the best part of the season, while Cobra Kai ended much stronger. Correct. Yeah. I think most people would generally agree with that. Part 2 was dreadful, especially episode 7. Yeah. Yeah. It just felt like it wasn't clicking together the way it needed to be. And then suddenly it's like, and then suddenly it's like we take right before the end, we take a long time out for Will to come out. Like, what? I don't get it. Only enjoyed episode 9 from season 6, part 2. Well, that's when Robbie beats Quan and they come back together. You get the moment in the locker room and everything. Cobra Kai 6 part 1 was definitely the weakest set of 5 episodes, in my opinion. What are you? Stranger Things part was the strongest set of 4 episodes. Correct. Yeah. Kreese lives in my book. They shot it. I think he's gone, but you like to think it. Watch Friday. I think they both had good moments and bad, but were good overall. Although I would say Cobra Kai had a better landing in the finale. Yes, yeah. And as we've been saying, the first part 1 of Stranger Things 5, I think most everyone agreed was really good, and everyone was looking forward to it. So definitely, Stranger Things started their season better. But it started wobbling towards the end, and probably some bad decisions. But I would have rewrote Holly was cool. I would have rewrote the entire new fit into a 2-season plot. Have season 5 start right before close to 1. Have the search for Holly as season 5's plot and Vecna's death in season 6. Yeah, I don't know. I saw something that they said, like, they didn't, when they went into it, they didn't expect Holly to be that big, but then they just kept adding to it. Sorry. Yeah, that they kept adding to it, and Holly just kept getting bigger and bigger. I think 1 season was fine. But I do think they could have done some things, and I'll try to get to it all. Like the military, I predicted, if you remember my even predictions before, I said I think the military by the end will be the antagonist at the beginning, and then they'll be like, oh, we understand what's going on, and then they'll join them. But that never happened. They were always staying on the bad side. It was like, and even as what Christian and others have pointed out, like having the last fight in the other world kind of took away the immediacy or the importance of that fight. Like if the fight had been happening in Hawkins, it might have been more interesting, more threatening. But instead, it's like they're in the other world. Hands down, best scene in Cobra Kai was Johnny and Kreese's final scene. Woo. Fight on a boat. Season 6 was not needed. Well, Stranger Things never dies. No. Unless you're 11, apparently. Sometimes I wish Johnny Wolf's fight used the Sky Tekai rules and not the first 3 All Valley rules. Seeing Johnny knocking Wolf out would have been super cool. Yeah, could have. But it was like the tiebreaker rules. So, but I think, yeah, it would have been cool. But I think part of it is to reestablish the rules of, of his match, right? Of his match with Daniel. He's getting his redemption. It was up to me. Cobra Kai had 15 episodes, season 5, where they remove all the Sky and just write Johnny taking back Cobra Kai from Kreese. Closure. That's fine, but I think Johnny needed the win in a big tournament, and that's where we got to, Johnny needed to come back, prove he wasn't a loser and all that. I think that's what Johnny needed. Season 6 was only worth it for Johnny's story. That's it. Other characters' story wrapped up in season 5. Yeah, mostly true. We got some good Sam and Tori stuff in episode 3. Like Peter always liked episode 3. And it is good. We got the resolution of some of the Anthony and Kenny stuff, which wasn't quite wrapped up yet. We got Chosen resolution. So, Hawk and Dimitri were probably like the biggest spot here that fits with what you're saying. Like they were mostly done. And so then the conflict for them felt a little forced and it felt a little frustrating. Like, come on, guys, you're over this. And that was frustrating. Sam and Miguel stuff, it was okay, whatever. We didn't get Murray fighting scenes in season 5. He showed no mercy in season 4. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more Murray. We didn't get any Murray in the epilogue, to be honest with you. Like, and that's like something no one even talks about. Like, how come there's no Murray in the epilogue? Like, he was kind of like a fan favorite. I knew people, who like, yeah, he's my favorite character, Murray, but yeah, no one brought it up. Whatever happened to him? He was back doing his private eye or whatever he was. Don't introduce the Sakai Tekai. Holly got more screen time than the other. Yeah. I wish there's payback for Andy and his friends. Yeah. And that's what I was saying, pretty quick after part 2. You could feel it. I even remember watching part 2 with, I guess it was the day after Christmas because we watched it the next day. I was with my wife and I was like, at some point I said, there's a lot of Holly. And she's like, yeah, what's going on? Like we both noticed it. It was like, there was like a lot of Holly. Like there was definitely Holly in the first 4, but it hadn't yet reached to that point where you're like, what the hell's going on? Because it was like the first four, it was setting everything up, everything was happening. Um, she wasn't in much the first episode, I don't think. Um, but then by the time we got to part two, 5, 6, and 7, it's like you could notice. Like I literally, while watching, like literally just said out loud, why is there so much Holly? Like it was just not there. The Korea stuff in Cobra Kai should be teased in season 5, set up for a spinoff. Could be. Could still be, man. Could still be. T Flex Champ is here. Thank you for coming on in, T Flex Champ. Always good to have you. Chris has more of a chance of being alive than 11. Yeah, probably. I don't see how 11 is alive. I don't get it. Stranger Things should have been way bigger. Look at how far ended. That's like end of the world shit. Season 5 should have been full apocalyptic war with the upside down. Or at least got there. It's hard because what's his name? Jason Pargan or whatever. He had a video and he put it pretty well. And he was mostly right, I think. He said like what makes it good, any horror really is that it's often you're in a confined, environment, right? You're in a small town, cabin in the woods, whatever. You're in this small confined environment, but as it gets bigger and bigger, how do you get bigger and bigger but keep like the small confined environment, with just these like literal like high school kids and like recent high school graduates in the case like with a few others, like with the town police chief. It's hard. So yeah. So and that's what they're trying to do, and I think that's partially probably why they ultimately had the final fight like in the abyss in this foreign area, because it's like they're going after them, right? But yeah. The Iron Dragons should have introduced in part 1 instead of Tori rejoining. They should have introduced a new good-looking female character in Cobra Kai with lines. Well, we already got like we got Quan, and Quan came off really well. And trying to introduce more, because we got Yoon too. Like, I think it was pretty good the way they did it. I mean, maybe you felt like Tori going back was a little forced, but I get it. But I think they got there in a somewhat of a believable way. So yeah. Netflix has final season curse. Both shows had so many problems with their final seasons. Yeah, but I still think, other than a few minor exceptions who just keep saying it again and again online, I think most people are really happy with Cobra Kai's ending. Stranger Things was a lot better before Vecna was in the picture. I think Jamie's a female actor, but as soon as Vecna appeared in the show went downhill. It definitely was like putting a face to all the problems, or like to the opposition. Yeah. Like you're getting like a face. It's now there's this whole backstory. It's getting more and more complex. Both Cobra Kai season 5 and Stranger Things 4 felt more like final seasons. Well, I don't think Stranger Things 4 felt like a final season because it ended on such a cliffhanger, but somewhat. Yes. I get what you mean. Watch party. Hoping that we get word from Big 3 where Miyagi-verse stands because it'll be 1 year, but since we got the finale. Yes, pretty much exactly that. I agree, Melissa. Um, my hope was always, within 1 year. What can you say? Like, um, hopefully, they're talking about Stranger Things spinoff based on the guy with the little briefcase or whatever. So why can't we get Cobra Kai spinoff? I look what you say about the military, and I agree they should have done that. But Dr. K has her own priorities, making her a more intense villain. But instead, Sarah Connor is wasted. Yeah. She definitely fell off. It was like and they set things up, but then it was actually less than I thought it was going to be, because she said, oh yeah, Kay has her own objectives, her own reasons, that are still a secret. And you're like, what is it? And then it just turns out oh, it's just they're taking blood and trying to recreate, the program and all that. And I don't know, I wasn't sure I was buying it. Plus, they're just in the upside. Do they understand it? I don't know. It's how much do they know and how? And it's they don't think it's weird that they're in this alternate universe. I guess we can automatically say Cobra Kai wins. It had 6 seasons, better ending. Had 5 seasons, it gave us a bad ending. Definitely not a fully satisfactory ending. Do you think 11 is dead? I more or less do. I don't see how, at least the way Mike thinks of it, could have happened. I don't know. Unless 11 had the powers herself, which could be a theory, but the make an image powers, but I don't know. Cobra Kai had an easier plane to land, but did it unlike Stranger Things, who kind of fluttered to a cookie cutter ending. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think Cobra Kai was an easy plane to land. Just talk to John, Josh, and Hayden. That it was a lot of work, but yeah. The crossover should be off canon animated upside down. Deal with multiverses. Yeah. I still wish the big three had thought of a way to bring Julie back before it did. Oh, I think they had ideas, but remember, ultimately, it was Hilary Swank who essentially turned it down. Not them. 2 best shows on Netflix are done. Abandoned Netflix. Yeah. I'm actually contemplating, should I just cancel my subscription for a while? I don't even know. You can call it the crisscross. The upside down, the right side up. Yeah, crisscross is kind of funny. Yeah. Netflix feels so empty. Yeah, fave shows ended. As much as I look Cobra Kai, I could have done without Silver. Not many people will agree with you. A lot of people love Silver. Both seasons did a horrible job creating conflict between characters. Yeah. I'm glad they used Prince, but I was disappointed they used him the way I thought. Yeah, and that's kind of what I thought hearing it. It's he's getting it, but that's very different. It's very different. Do not carry Sam and Miguel as a couple. That is quite all right. Many people are over them. Many people question if they were actually a good couple to begin with, but whatever. Robin Lynn is here, who missed the past 2, finally made it. Yeah, you finally made it. Murray was the only one to get arrested for war crimes against U.S. That's why he was missing from the epilogue. Rough, man, rough. Still say that most real scene in Cobra Kai is Johnny trying to pay dojo bills. Yeah. That was a lot of fun in season 1, man. Even just now, earlier today, I was thinking about just the things I loved about season 1, and it's a little bit like the reality of running a dojo, and it's funny because at some point, I got on the algorithm of dojo or owners or something. And it's like I'm seeing things like 5 methods you can go, like proven methods for your dojo or martial arts school, to get 5 new paying students a month or something like and this is the stuff that goes around because like yeah, it's true. Like you go to a strip mall and it borrow some money and rent out a store and build up your little school and call it, watch party dojo of the hand and foot arts, you know, um you build that, but it's like, how are you gonna get people to walk in? Like you gotta get do you just sit there and wait for someone to walk in? Hey, you taking students? Sure, I'll teach you right now. Like you gotta build it up and it's kind of hard. And once you get some students, like you could get word of mouth. Like that's how I found when I did taekwondo way back in the day. Yeah, like I did taekwondo, but like my friend was doing it for a while, and then he got my other friend to do it, and then so they were both doing it. Then I joined, um, and I ended up passing both of them, but it was a long time ago. I don't think Cobra Kai should go bigger as seasons went on. I didn't care for global tournaments. And tournaments are part of the Miyagi-verse. Fair point. My biggest problem with Cobra Kai is that I feel like the big three don't know how to balance the adults' King's characters after season 4. They had way too many new characters. After season 4? Well, season 4, they added Kenny. And then you got Devin, too. Devin was really just a replacement for Aisha. But, then we get like Chosen coming back. It's not really a new character, but, I mean, I will say I'm certain that was always a bit of a challenge in the show. The balance between, the Ralph, the Daniel and Johnny storylines with like Miguel, Sam, Robbie, everything. A common criticism of season 2 was it focused way too hard on the teen love drama. It didn't really bother me. I think it was like ultimately part of the show, and it's part of the Miyagi verse, the Karate Kid legacy. But those criticisms have always been there. I find it weird the hate for Cobra Kai season 5 because when it came out, everyone said it was the best. Sort of the opposite of how fans view season 3 Cobra Kai. Used to be agreed worst of season. Well, I would disagree. I would never say it was never agreed. I mean, a lot of people really love season 3 to this day, and especially when it came up. So I don't know. Any spinoff? Not yet, man. Not yet. Why didn't we see any Demogorgons in the last season? I think yeah, I think they said Vecna didn't think he needed the Demogorgons. Like that's the official excuse. Conformity Gate is still going. People need to let Stranger Things go. It is fun to look at like as I said at the beginning of this stream, the thing about Conformity Gate is like, yeah, like people were looking at it, like, and they're like looking at the show and finding things like, well, this doesn't make sense, and that doesn't make sense, and why is that like that? And it's like they're actually kind of right, but like it doesn't mean anything. They're just finding like random shit that doesn't make sense, and that's totally fine. But like, it doesn't mean anything. That's their problem. So yeah, that's Conformity Gate. So it's interesting watching, but I've been watching them do this forever. So Holly was supposed to. She looks like she's a 15-year-old trying to act 10. Well, yeah, yeah. Holly got aged up a bit here. I feel like the balance started shifting for characters. She's maybe. Do you really have to ask that question in title? You know my vote, of course. Tori rejoining Cobra Kai was forced. The big three ran out of ideas. Well, I killed that woman. Tori's mom, I'm saying. So here, hold on. One of the things like I see about conformity gate. Hold on. I'm just gonna bring this up. What do I push? This one. Okay. Here. His mom. Like she doesn't have the scar here. Like when she comes and yells at them, she doesn't like have a scar. But like earlier in that day at the graduation, you can find it. Hold on. Here it is. She has these scars, like it's on her face, like a neck. So, like, this is like part of the conformity gate. Like, so she has these scars, but then later, when she's yelling at him, you know, from down there, she doesn't have the scars. So it's like, why? At least from what we can see. Definitely not like obvious. Like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Whatever you think. I just started with my wife Fallout. Never played the game. Season 1, season 2 is premiering now. It's rated really well. Have you seen it? I have not seen it. I've heard of it. I thought it was pretty good. Then I thought someone said it falls off a little bit. I don't know, but I could be wrong on that. Waiting to watch second season when it all comes out. More Dr. K. Yeah, I think like just something more interesting with Dr. K or something. You know, not like I felt like there was more potential there, and they just kind of left it on the table. Duffer's left 11's open ended, death open ended. So in a few years, when they're offered millions of dollars, they can bring her back. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't see how she lived, but maybe I can do it. I watched the first episode. Love Dustin's graduation speech. I actually did not. It felt almost out of character since when did Dustin hate the principal? Instead, he's like being Eddie, but like Eddie didn't want people to be like him. He wanted people to feel like themselves, right? Like if you're like someone else, you know, I don't get it. Yeah, nah, no spinoffs. Not yet, man. Hopefully within a month or so. Do you think that Miyagi prequel should be a TV show or movie? Oh, I think it'll be a show. I think they're locked into that more or less for now. Hope the spinoff they have Kenny and Devin together remind me almost of Max and Lucas. Yeah, Kenny and Devin. They're old. They're different. Devin's older than Kenny by at least a couple of years. I don't know. But yeah. You do run a dojo. Well, I'll be darned. 10 years from now, they definitely will make a legacy sequel, a movie set in 2000 that reveals that 11 survived. Well, yeah, if they make any sequel, it'll probably be 11 surviving. Miguel unironically knew more about business than Johnny did. Yeah. Miguel and Sam have zero chemistry now. Then I feel like a couple. Peaked in seasons 1 through 3. Yeah, maybe. New episode tomorrow. As an aside, I'm seeing people say Sadie Sink will play Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man Brand New Day. How are they going to contrast with Michelle Jones and Zendaya? Yeah, I think I've heard people saying that. I don't think it's confirmed. I just don't think they get rid of Zendaya though. So fuck it. I'll skip the movie. I don't care. It's just like building an online fitness. Any business, man, any business. Never did watch Stranger Things, but I see all of Cobra Kai. I love it. Thought bringing in older characters and new characters was a great idea for more viewers. Absolutely, Kit Kat. That is absolutely right. I find that Cobra Kai got big viewerships like Stranger Things, even number 1 on Nielsen rating charts, but still people didn't see it as big as Stranger Things when it comes to merchandise. Yeah, I think Stranger Things was more of a cultural show. But definitely Cobra Kai was like one of their top 10 shows. I think that came out somewhere recently. Wanted more Master Kim. They wasted Master Kim. Fair criticism. There could have been more. Season 5 Strange Things, there were too many characters. Team was split into different stories. Typical shows that have run out of ideas and too many characters to focus on. Yeah, where everyone's split up and, well, season 4 was like that too. Because there's always been like the like younger kids like Mike, Lucas, and all of them with L, then like the slightly older kids, Steve, Jonathan, Nancy, and then like the various adults, Hopper, Joyce, Murray when he came in. And then season 5 introduced younger still kids, Holly and her classmates. And there was too much of that. No one was really invested in Holly and her classmates. So that's where I would scale back. Find it weird that Cobra Kai got the big viewership, yeah. Documentary tomorrow will be hidden episode. We'll have to wait and see. No, it's definitely will not. I have a feeling if we get Sam and a spinoff on Okinawa, her and Miguel will not be together anymore, and that's they're broken up, but not together. Could be. Another problem with season 6 was trying to introduce new characters. The problem was rehashing old story arcs and conflicts that were already resolved. Yes, I think that's where a lot of people felt. Johnny and Daniel fighting again in episode 5 and all that. It was like, that's just like that takes it back for me. The Dimitri Hawk stuff really hurt. I wish Aisha came back in season 6. Well, maybe. I think they recycled Kim Da-eun in a different storyline to be chosen because I guess they saved her for Julie Pierce and didn't show up. At some point, I guess they had the idea to do something with Julie Pierce, but it seemed like they knew that was never going to happen. Is the reason they didn't have money to bring back all these characters because they spent too much time on the same character as Johnny? No, that is not the reason. I think the problem with Cobra Kai is that from the very first episode, it had a definitive ending. There's only so many times you can have the characters almost be friends. Yeah. I mean, when they split up in season 4, people didn't like that. So when it happened in season 6, it was like, oof. Only so many times you can do Dojo Wars before it gets so old. Yeah. Like none of the side characters got enough screen time in season 6. Kenny Anthony, Mike Barnes, Kim Sun Young. Yeah. Okay, Max. Mike's dad pretty much got ripped in two by the Democrats. He seems to have come out with no scars. Well, he's a tough guy, you know. He's a golfer, good businessman or whatever the heck he does. I don't know. Also, I miss Robbie and Daniel as a duo. It peaked season 1, season 2. Yeah. Watch Party. I think I replied on Twitter saying he did it in his memory because he said that when he graduated, that's what he wanted to do. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And that's true, I guess. Although I just feel like if he was going to do that, he would announce it, right? Seem like that's just what he's doing. Um and it's kind of weird. Like if I were sitting in the audience, I would think it was really weird. And I would be like, what the hell just happened at our graduation? And I would be like, thank God no one cares. My friend was our valedictorian. I don't really remember any of his speech. Something about growing in faith or something. he looked back at him once and he was laughing. I don't know. Whatever. In the crossover, they will definitely change Dungeons and Dragons and dojos after their experience. Yeah. Johnny was season 1. Johnny was so funny. I miss when Cobra Kai was just simple. Yeah, it definitely came out of the gates so strong, so good, so you can connect with it. Sadie's a good actress in drama, but she seems to have natural talent in comedy. She could do rom-coms, be the next Julia Roberts. Are rom-coms still a thing? I guess. I think this probably is it. Although maybe now it's more like Twilight, 50 Shades of Grey, sort of weird pseudo sex fantasy drama more than rom-coms. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think I've seen Sadie in anything else, but I know she's been in stuff. Cobra Kai is big merchandise. Two strangers, they both have board games for crying out loud. I never saw the board game. They never gave Dutch any closure. Yeah, well, Chad McQueen died, man. So, also I hate how they sidelined Hawk after season 4. Yeah. Dustin's graduation was meant to honor Eddie. Yeah, I know. Not being afraid to be yourself. Funny, you spread the message of not being afraid to be yourself by being like someone else. Okay. Okay. I mean, I get it, but yeah. I miss Mike. It's nearly a year since Cobra Kai ended. Yeah, it is. So they still haven't released the last season on DVD. Someone said March, maybe February. If Robbie does get a spinoff, wouldn't they end up screwing the ending they gave him in Cobra Kai, just in your opinion? Well, that's the risk you take with any continuation or spinoff. You always risk screwing it up. Yeah, Johnny Daniels fighting ran its course for me. Chop Shop season 3 was done after season 4. Said he was in that movie with Brendan Fraser. Oh, was he? I didn't see that one, but I heard it was good. Least favorite character of season 6 was Robbie. Butchered throughout. Yeah, you just wanted him to do better, and he kept not. It was very frustrating. Like he's better. Chris Cross coming soon. Miguel should have been the one struggling on the mat, not Robbie. Yeah. Well, actually, there's this teen rom-com book called She Drives Me Crazy. Fans of the book want Sadie, I don't know, to be in it. I believe you. Maybe she will be in it. She could be what's that girl's name? Um oh, the one who was in the kissing booth. That girl. I know she's pretty popular. Like movie and as well as like being in movies like that. Um I could see Sadie going something like that. Um if Daniel and Johnny didn't fight in the first place from high school, then none of the arguing would have happened. They would have been friends. Yes. Um, Joey King. That's who it is. That's what I was thinking of. Joey King. She'd be like Joey King. Probably better too. Isn't Joey King a little overrated? I don't actually know. I don't know if I've ever actually seen anything she's been in. Another problem with Cobra Kai is the story got bigger, the budget really started to show. Yeah, they were always saying, how it was like tight budget and blah blah blah. So that was kind of unfortunate. So Joey King. But I guess that's just the show they were doing, It's what they had. You got to make the show you can make. Ultimately, right? So, oh well. Robbie had one of the worst innings of Cobra Kai. I'm never going to forgive the big three for injuring him. Well, I mean, maybe, but it's set up for Miguel to win. So, it's a two-part thing, Don't you agree Dutch deserve more? Not necessarily. Jamie King. No, Joey King. He'll always be bad boy driving, he lose to Johnny wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame. So that's a shame. But what you gonna do? What you gonna do? They also want the girl from I've Never Been in the movie version of that book too. She's talented too. I think her and Sadie will have great chemistry. Great. Miguel winning was forced. I don't think Miguel should have been dominant in part two, though. Yeah, it felt like he was always the one, which was like a little bit like, meh. Of course, the title book is named after the song from the 80s and it's mentioned in the book. So maybe he'll end up being the theme song for the movie. Yeah. His win in part three felt hollow because he was in part two. Yeah. But I feel enough gave Stranger Things a much bigger budget than it. Oh, yeah. Obviously. There's no arguing that. Everyone knows that. They had a very big budget and they did a lot with it. A lot probably went to the actors. I mean, comparatively, it's worth noting Cobra Kai probably had a big budget too. also going to all their actors. I think Ralph and Billy were doing pretty well. Um, you know, you know, they got paid for what they did. That's just the way it is. They got paid. It should have been a draw or something. Yeah, Mike and Johnny. But they were trying to set Johnny up. He was coming back. He learned some Miyagi Do. He could do some things. That's where it's at. Don't get me started with Miguel versus Axel. One of the worst fights you've seen. Okay, Chosen Vader. Do you wish we should have seen Johnny's father? Maybe they'll bring him in for a spinoff. No, I don't think we needed Johnny's father. I don't think that served any point or anything. So like we got what we got, from the flashback and stuff. Thought Dimitri was dying was a possibility. I mean, maybe. I don't think I would have entertained that very much. Mike Barnes is perfect because we don't know anything about him. That's true. I always thought there was room for Mike Barnes. Always said there was room for Mike Barnes, but you have to see what they do with it. What do they do with it? Because they don't ever say. If Robbie does get a spinoff, what could they do that wouldn't screw up the ending they gave him Cobra Kai? Well, you just start a new story and make it not suck. It's something. It's when it kind of sucks, or he's like back as like a street hoodlum. you know, you respect where it ended. So he ended kind of high in the karate world or something. So that's where he should be. You don't start with him back as some like running um running scams at the um you know electronics store or something. Talking about bad boy karate. Yeah. People making injuries to Kwan, injuring Dimitri. Well, he did like beat Dimitri bad. They even talked about how like it was like he almost had something against Dimitri um early on, and he like takes Dimitri out when they first fight and everything really fast. So yeah. Johnny's whole life was really tragic. Yeah, and I mean that's what ultimately brings us to the end of the show, right? Like it's like him getting some redemption. That was the point. Iron Dragon spinoff, Sensei Wolf. I kind of agree. Really like Robbie's punk aesthetic in season 4. Yeah, season 4 Robbie was really good when he was in Cobra Kai. I still think Axel and Sam should have ended up together instead of her and Miguel. Poor Axel, he never had a shot. World champion, best fighter, doesn't even have a shot. Isn't that a shame? Like, isn't that just a shame? Uh, Poor Axel. It's another. No actual stakes. No one got hurt. Well, I mean, they're fighting for the world championship. Those are the stakes. Quan and the Koreans should at least give in to Demetrius Swirly. Nah, Swirly's beneath them. They're way beyond that. Who do you think would make a great Spider-Man? Miles Morales, Dallas, or Caleb? I mean, I don't really care about Miles Morales, but I would go with Dallas. He's a little short, although he did grow. Do you think it's possible Iron Dragons will Wolf appear in Okinawa in a same spinoff? I mean, anything's possible, of course. I mean, anything's possible. Like, I don't think it's the natural thing to start, but even season 4 had more stakes than Sakai Tekai. Okay, man. After a while, Cobra stopped being dirty until the plot called for it. maybe. But Will's coming on. Oh, you've missed the live streams. It was kind of long, torturous, in really just out of nowhere. Like, they have this whole plan on basically how to save the world. It's this big life or death situation. And like right as they're all getting ready to go, Will calls everyone together to talk about like what he's attracted to and who he's not attracted to. Like, it's so weird. Like, how is no one there? Like, wait, what are we talking about? Like, how do we just go from attacking the Upside Down, killing Vecna, blowing up the Upside Down, and saving the world to like this? It's like, come on, man, read the room. It's like he's, what is he trying to make it all about himself? Like, in this moment here, let's talk about me instead. Like, when you're going to save the world. Oh man. It just, and I put this in my video when I made it, and I absolutely stand by what I said in the video. Like that, like, Will had his moment in episode 4, like his coming to moment, his coming of age moment. He tapped into the powers. It was really cool. And this is why I keep saying everyone thought part 1 of season 5 was really good. And in season 4, he had his moment and it was good. And that was that. Like, it worked. It was good. Everyone was happy. You did not need this extra scene. Oh my God. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Joy King cast in Conjuring and other movies. Yes, she is quite popular. Maybe even more popular than Peyton List. I don't know. What do you think? Sam and Axel's storyline was boring. Really hope we start seeing Brandon and Patrick appearing more stuff. They've proven themselves. Yeah. Patrick should have been in the Odyssey. No, Christopher Nolan picked up the phone and said, "Get me Zendaya." Fuck that. I don't want to see this movie. I'm so frustrated. Like, I just like. Sorry, Christopher Nolan. I liked the Batman movies. You've done some good stuff, but I'm not going to see the Odyssey, even though, and I'm probably going to be forced to because my wife is in love with the Odyssey story. And she doesn't necessarily believe in not seeing something on principle. So I see another Sam and Axel scene. You're going to crash out. Luckily for you, the show has ended. I should have hooked up with Sam. It's a show, but wouldn't it be a warm, fuzzy reception like that for a time? I think that's what bothered me. Yeah. I mean, what bothered me was the timing. Like it was so out of like what the hell, man? Like oh, like Will, this is not the time to talk about your sexuality. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's just like 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 if there's a if there's a stereotype that gay people somehow manage to make everything about like their sexuality, like somehow boy did that just play right into it. Like jeez, it just it's all about like what the hell, man. Caleb's an extra in gymnastics. It's Cobra Kai deal. Miles, yeah. Sam has more chemistry with Axel than she has with Miguel. Ouch. 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 Everyone's saying that Reina looks like Zendaya. Piss off. No one says that. Do people have eyes? What the hell? I've never once seen anyone say that. All the thing Reina was like I've never once seen anyone say she kind of looks like Zendaya. Truth. I should felt bad for Axel, and I can relate. Yeah, I know, man. I know. She looks nothing like Zendaya. Yes. Chosen Vendero has said something accurate. She looks nothing like Zendaya. The coming out was super out of place as well, which is weird because Robin's coming with season 4 was the best season. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and I think he had his moment in episode 4 and it worked. The thing like, and I will always say, always remember when part 1 dropped, everyone thought it was really good. And Will had his moment in episode 4 and it worked and it was really good. Axel needed more story. Yeah, maybe a spinoff. Advice she gave is practical. Reina is hotter. That is true. Will there be another season or a spinoff? Of Cobra Kai, there's no more seasons. There may be some sort of spinoff, completely different. Yeah, the only characters that need to be Joyce, Mike, and Jonathan. I mean, yeah. Oh, I mean, also calling everyone together, like, huh? I don't know, man. I don't know what world they're living in, but it seems weird. Yeah, Robbins was more sincere. Yeah, and that was back in season 3. Being forced. Yeah, I almost feel like people were talking about it so long the Duffers felt like they had to do it. And then in their mind, it became like the biggest thing ever. So they wrote it as like, almost this the second biggest climax of the show, right? The final episode, the climax is like, beating Vecna in the Mind Flare. But then like the climax right before that is Will coming out it had built up in their heads so much. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Season 3 was a fun season, fun vibe, fun colors. Yeah, different opinions on this. Some people didn't like it. Some were like, yeah, it's pretty good. It did have a vibe. It had that summer vacation vibe. That was what it was going for. So, yeah. Season 2 is good. One of the weaker seasons. Yeah. I would get more Sensei Wolf in the future. He's doing Louis Tan, bring something fresh. Yeah. Yeah. Louis Tan is sure. Season 1 will 2 will always be the best Stranger Things. Fair enough. If season 1 Cobra Kai is the best, maybe season 1 Stranger Things is the best. Has its moments. Sensei Wolf is worse than Silver. Ooh. There you go. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap it up. This one Joyce was she was always the main character. Come on. I'm gonna have to wrap it up. I will get videos out, I promise. Maybe episode 9. Conformity Gate goes on. Probably not, though. Thank you everyone for coming on in. Enjoy the discussion. It was vibrant. I love it when we get here. Yeah. Thank you for T-Flex, Champ, Robin, Lynn. You both haven't been here in a while. But thank you everyone. Max Levinson, Melissa, of course. But thank you everyone for coming in and participating. We're doing good. Keep the party alive. Have a great day. I'll see you at the next watch party. Love you all. Bye-bye.